Of the year on Tuesday. She broke the college basketball career scoring record in her senior season at Iowa, led the Hawkeyes to a second straight Final Four. She then turned pro, and as the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, Clark won Rookie of the Year, led the Indiana Fever to their first playoff appearance in 8 years, and is the second female star to win the honor for Time magazine, following the footsteps of gymnastics great Simone Biles in 2021. Let's talk some basketball. Caitlin Clark with our basketball analyst, Ashley Nicole Moss. Ash, how big is this, not just for Caitlin, but for the women's game overall, and recognizing how the game has not just grown on the court, but also in sporting and social fabric in North America?
It's huge. I mean, for the longest time, the WNBA has been trying to get on this global scale, and I feel like...
Although Caitlin Clark has always had exceptional skill, what we're witnessing right now is quite different. She's reinventing her game, not just honing it. Music. As the top defenders in the NBA hurl everything at her, Clark's response has been a remarkable metamorphosis.
Whenever I decide to go to the WNBA, I hope it's that same thing. I hope I can continue to grow the game. I hope we're playing in front of sold-out crowds. I hope more teams are added to the league. There's so many tremendous players that don't even get the opportunity to play in the league.
College phenom, who was formerly thin, is now stronger, more resilient, and more dangerous than ever. Her footage shows that she is not only surviving in the league, but also thriving. Behind-the-scenes activities, a dedication to physical domination, a relentless training schedule, and a desire to silence the critics. You have not yet witnessed anything if you believed Clark was already a force.
You're getting some aerobic fitness in. Good. I need it.
Before we go into the whole breakdown, the league is formally on notice because she wants to alter the story, rewrite the rules, and take control of her destiny. To keep up with the most recent WNBA news and major stories, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You won't want to miss the next thing.
Caitlin, what are your thoughts on all the moves so far and the state of this team?
I'm really excited. I think Kelly and Amber have done a really good job of, finding pieces that fit. It makes me excited about the future, obviously, with Steph and her staff coming in here, and my ability to work out with Keith all off-season has been really fun, but it's been fun. I got to work out with DB, and, as some off-season leagues and overseas stuff kind of wraps up, a lot of them will start getting back, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to get in the gym.
Generational talents have been redefining women's basketball for decades, from Diana Taurasi to Cheryl Miller. Each period has produced icons who advance the sport.
The biggest thing is coming in and being intentional about every single thing we do, no matter how long you go on the court. You got to be able to win practice every single day if you want to win on game day.
The next in line, Caitlin Clark, is different from her predecessors in that her game is based on a special fusion of range vision and now sheer physical power. This isn't simply another exciting rookie tale. Rather, it's a total metamorphosis taking place right before our eyes.
After this 2 for 11 starts, Smith open on the perimeter, and she catches in on a 3. Now Clark looking to push, cross-court pass. Pull, back to Clark, she will launch.
Yet fans aren't merely watching a great player join the WNBA. They're also seeing a revolution unfold as Clark compels a league full of seasoned players to reevaluate their defensive tactics.
I love being in the gym. It's just kind of second nature to me. It's, a calming thing. It's something that I'm just comfortable doing, but that's also where all my confidence stems from, is the time I put in the gym, the hours working on my game. It just, kind of builds my confidence up, and, when I step on the court to play a game, is like, I know, I can go out there and make those shots because that's, the time I spend in the gym. And
what distinguishes Clark is that timing was a factor. Her ascent and the growth of women's basketball made her the ideal spokesperson for the sport's next big thing. But it's also well-timed because Clark is doing something unique tonight. By joining Steph adds an invisible layer of strength to her arsenal while cueing deep shooting with elite playmaking.
That has recorded consecutive 20-plus.
I love her. I love the way Caitlin Clark is playing.
Left to play here in the first quarter. Wins the pass. Thread the needle. Working it around here for the Fever. Good ball movement on this possession. Logo.
She already has elite skills in scanning the court and making accurate passes, but now she's adding physical dominance as a new weapon. Because of this combo, it is impossible to game plan against her.
Normally when we're in October, we're talking about baseball, their playoffs, the World Series, winning a pennant. But this October, baseball is getting pushed a little bit aside. Why? Because it's WNBA playoffs time, and we're talking about a historic season for the WNBA and their biggest star, Caitlin Clark. Let's talk about general interest in the game first, because this just gives you an idea of how much the WNBA has exploded. We're talking Google searches this season compared to prior seasons since the WNBA draft back in April. Compare it to last year. Look at Google searches, up over 300%. Compare it to 5 seasons ago. My goodness gracious. Google searches up 861%. Compared to 10 years ago, we're talking about...
The days of defenders shoving her off the ball are over, since she is now supporting her famed ability to lift up from 30 to 40 feet with muscle. Not only is Clark adjusting to the WNBA, but she is also making the league adjust to her. The changes in Caitlin Clark is completely redefining what a guard can be in this league, not simply honing his skills.
The WNBA has never seen a rookie like this. From the moment Caitlin Clark
that bridges the gap between muscular enforcers and sharpshooter playmakers, a change that has the whole W.
Since the Marina Mabry trade, and she has stepped up her game in that opportunity.
The league's defenders are stronger, faster, and more tenacious. They don't just contest shots, they bump, push, and punish players who aren't ready. For a player like Clark, who relied on finesse, that was a music problem. She understood that the biggest challenge she would face in the WNBA wasn't skill, but physicality. She may be put to the test by college defenders, but if she wanted to be a superstar in the WNBA, she had to flourish there rather than just endure the brutality. Music. So what did she do? She put on a lot of weight, but it wasn't just about gaining a few pounds. It was about transforming her physique in a way that would allow her to survive the league's most resilient defenders. In order to improve her game, Clark dedicated herself to an intense strength and conditioning regimen that included explosive drills, resistance training, and weightlifting music. Building core strength to absorb contact, boosting lower body power for better lift on her shots, and enhancing endurance to sustain her intensity throughout 4 quarters were the goals of each practice.
Every box, whatever the box you have, Stephen A. for, right. She checked it.
She checked it. Make no mistake about it. She deserves all the praise and the
outcomes that show muscular definition, enhanced balance through contact, a more forceful first stride, and, above all, a change in perspective. Instead of avoiding contact, Caitlin Clark is now making it. Whereas the previous Caitlin Clark used her talent to avoid defenders, the current Caitlin Clark uses her strength to overwhelm them. Music. Defenders used to target her physicality as a weakness, but now it's one of her biggest strengths. She's not just a deep threat anymore. She's a wrecking ball in transition, a nightmare to guard in the half court, and a player who can now dictate the terms of engagement.
You have to guard Caitlin Clark even before she crosses half court. Speed when she's going to her left and in rhythm, she's...
Critics immediately questioned Clark's ability to handle the intensity of the WNBA. Would she be another college standout who found it difficult to transition to the professional ranks? Or could she actually compete against the larger, more formidable defenders? The doubts were loud. Clark's louder response. Music. Recent videos of her practices and games reveal a totally different player. She's not simply running off screens. She's muzzling past defenders to generate her own shot. She's also completing at the rim through heavy contact. The once lean shooter has transformed into a physical force that can withstand blows and continue.
It's a game, one of the best in the league.
Clark frees up Boston for 2 more.
She's only shooting 67% from 3.
Challenge that Dallas has had all year. Clark catch and shoot and knocks down her second 3. Have so much size and banks it home. Indiana will reset. Clark fire away. You bet.
The largest change is not only in her physical attributes, but also in her confidence, as she is accepting contact, accepting the challenge, and demonstrating that she is an all-around weapon rather than just a shooter. The league questioned her resilience, and now they're having trouble keeping up with music. Although Mark's rookie season was full of exciting moments, things weren't always easy. Her opponents instantly focused on her, challenging her physicality and endurance at every opportunity. They pushed her off screens, made every possession a battle of attrition, and pressed her full court. Music. Some doubted her ability to compete with seasoned veterans who had spent years honing their defensive strategies, but Clark didn't simply accept the challenge. Instead, she studied it, took what she could from it, and returned with a strategy. Fast forward to the present, and the change is evident. Her ability to control the tempo has increased to new heights, and she handles the ball with precision and court vision. She's playing with an advantage because the days of defenders bullying her are over. She's now making contact, establishing space on her terms, and managing the game's pace. She's reading defenses like an experienced pro, anticipating traps before they form, and adjusting spacing to create high-percentage looks.
Of your overt frustration that you're constantly exhibiting. At the pro level, you can't be doing that all the time, looking at the sideline with your palms up and looking up in the stands. You got to just play through it because they're going to sense weakness and they're going to come for you even harder. That's my advice to Caitlin Clark.
The capacity to adapt, improve, and return stronger is what sets great players apart from legends. Clark has transformed her flaws into assets. If this trajectory continues, it won't be long before she's not just surviving in the league, but also defining music. She's no longer just a promising young star, but a force, a leader, and a player who's influencing the WNBA's future with every game she plays. Early in her career, critics noted that Clark wasn't a lockdown defender and that opposing guards would attack her in an attempt to take advantage of any flaws in her strength or footwork. However, now Clark is changing the narrative. Clark's evolution isn't just about offense. Her defensive game has reached a whole new level.
Fire and hit. Clark running. Clark eyes up behind the back, throws away, 5 to shoot, shovels back. O'Grady short. 4 at stake. Clark.
Her improved strength and agility allow her to confidently challenge shots against larger players and use her basketball IQ to predict plays before they happen. She is no longer merely responding to the game. Instead, she is controlling it. Instead of being viewed as a defensive liability, she is making crucial stops, forcing turnovers, and demonstrating that she is more than simply a top scorer. What's even better is that she keeps improving.
The biggest thing is coming in and being intentional about every single thing we do, no matter how long you go on the court. You got to be able to win practice every single day if you want to win on game day.